We continue our football training camp reports today with a visit to Farmington. 2 years removed from a state semifinal appearance, the Farmington football team appeared to reach its nadir last year with a 1-9 season. The Knights were outscored by an average of 4 touchdowns per game. It was a tough introduction for first-year head coach Eric Krupe, but he feels much better after a full year in the district.
We've got a good group that's reported here in June and continued on in July. It's a group that's really worked hard since December when we started our off-season program, and you do get more comfortable the second year because when you get here in June and you're still starting to learn who your players are and even your coaches, and your players and coaches are trying to get to learn and understand you're hitting the ground running, where finally the second year through you can establish your off-season program and really start to build all the way back in the winter. And so you crescendo here in the summer with the pads coming on and having your camps.
As the Knights prepare for 2014, Krupe sees a bigger, faster, and stronger roster than the one he inherited.
Probably more so than anything is where our biggest stride has come from. If you look at where we were at from a strength standpoint in June to where we're at now, about 13 months later, and it's night and day. Our kids have really bought into our strength program that we've bought here. We've gotten a little bit more flexible, stronger, more athletic, and you can see their bodies, their physiques change, and you can see it on the field. And we've got a record board that's been here since this nice facility's been up, and we've turned over about half those records here in the last 13 months.
Farmington returns only 2 full-time starters on both sides of the ball, but an overhaul could be just what this team needs. Two-way lineman Jacob Cluck says many of those new names have emerged in the offseason.
After Thanksgiving, we really picked it up, had a lot of speed workouts, and really hit it hard in the weight room as much as we could, and seeing a lot of things from a lot of the younger kids and a lot of the kids in my class really busting their butt, trying to make themselves the best they can be, and I think we're all pretty happy with it. I definitely think that the leadership role this year is definitely a lot stronger than it's been in the years past. We got a lot of guys who love the game, love making themselves better, love making the team better, just love being around each other. A lot of good chemistry this year. I think it'll be very successful.
Cluck says a defense that was victimized for 470 yards per game last year has a new pack mentality.
I think we'll be pretty balanced, but one of the things we've improved so much is our defensive line, so they won't be able to run it down our throats, not nearly as much. One of the main things we do is a lot of our kids, when one person wraps up on somebody, all of their 10 guys are behind them. We got 11 guys rushing to the ball this year. Everybody's fast on their feet, everybody's focused the whole time and playing through the whistle.
The offense contains some knowns and some unknowns. The known quantity is 140-pound scat back Braden Vaughn, who led the running backs with almost 600 yards last year. Despite his diminutive stature, Vaughn always seems to fall forward. He explains his running style.
You just don't stop. You just have to go 110% every play. I like to get outside because I'm quick with my feet. I can make cuts and just get people off balance. I make more than one cut a lot because I'm not the biggest, but if there's a hole, I'll hit it.
The unknown for the Knights comes from the quarterback spot. Junior Brant Busenbark will see his first season as a starter behind center. With only a few plays under his belt at the varsity level, Busenbark's skills are unproven, but Coach Krupe says his toughness is a certainty.
The first time we played Cape in week 6, broke his collarbone. The thing about Brant is he actually broke his collarbone halfway through the series, played the next 4 plays, didn't tell anybody, and comes off the field, and that's when we finally realized, hey, something may have happened to him. So that shows you his toughness, and that's something that as a coach you like to see, that the kid's got that grit. He's a pocket passer, but I think he can be deceptive with his feet, but whereas Justin Boehm, last year's quarterback, was a little more quick and elusive, Brant's more likely to put his shoulder down and be that quarterback that actually delivers a blow and falls forward for a couple extra yards.
Last year, Farmington started the season with a core of big and fast wide receivers. What they return this year is the members of that group that excelled at catching the ball.
We've got a good core group of seniors at receiver that love football. They're football junkies. Trevor Keith, Chris Smith, Ken Pham, all those kids just eat and sleep football. Tyler Finch is a kid that has some explosive ability for us, and then we've got a couple young guys. Logan Dotson is one at our Z receiver position that's been doing a good job for us this summer.
After seeing a no-huddle, spread-em-out fast break offense for several years, Farmington fans might notice a fullback or tight end sneak onto the field more often this year.
It's going to evolve. we're still primarily a single back set, but you'll see some two back. I also want to make sure that we implement a tight end this year, and I'm not saying we're going to run a tight end with every single formation, but that's something that I think is an added dimension for an offense. And when you have a good tight end, it puts defenses in a little bit more of a bind. And I also think we've got some body types that actually can play the position this year. So you'll see us run a tight end some and a little bit of two back as well.
And strongman Charles Rhodes returns on the offensive and defensive lines alongside Cluck. Farmington more than held its own last year on special teams, and both specialists return with kicker Braden Krause and punter Brendan Ferris.
That was one of our strongest areas last year was our special teams, and punt return, our extra point field goal. Once Braden Krause became our field goal and extra point kicker, we were 100% on PATs, and he was 2 for 3 on field goals, and actually as a sophomore set a school record by kicking a 42-yarder.
While the Knights feel confident in improving the results this year, the schedule won't give them any free passes. 8 of the 9 teams on Farmington's schedule boasted a winning record last year, with most of them winning at least one playoff game. But Cluck says that one game in particular has caught the interest of the players.
We always love playing North County rival games, but really, there's been so much mouthing from Central, and we'd like to, put them in their place.
Farmington starts the season on August 22nd by hosting Ladue. I'll be there to call that and every night's game on AM 800 KREI and MIMOinfo.com. I'm Chad Speaker reporting from the Farmington Knights football camp for Regional Radio Sports.
1, 2, 3, Knights Nation!